introduce your onboard crew today. Your train manager is Tina. And at Scenic we have Carolyn and Rachel looking after you at the rear of the train. And Scenic Plus, sorry, the front of the train, Picton, Sam, Vanessa, Matt and Savannah. If you do have any questions for your crew, we'll be more than happy to assist you. So today's journey sees us travelling on the main North Line to Picton. Total distance 348 kilometres. We'll be arriving into Picton this afternoon at 12:40. We'll be leaving the garden city of Christchurch from its northern suburbs. We'll pass through Brecon, Brentwood, Papanui and Belfast, all former stations back in the golden days of rail here in Christchurch. At Rangiora we'll head northeast until Cleverly. We'll then spend the next 100 kilometres running between the mountains of the seaward Akaroa Ranges and the Pacific Ocean. It's often described as one of the most scenic track sections in the world. Final stages sees us heading inland past Lake Grasmere, through wine country and Marlborough, passing through Blenheim and meeting the sea once again at our final destination, coastal town of Picton, as I mentioned, about 12:40 this afternoon. So while we're very excited to have you on board the Coastal Pacific with us, our primary concern is of course your safety. For this reason we do please ask you spare a moment of time to refer to the safety information card that's located in the seat pocket of the table in front of you. Staff will be moving through the train shortly to collect the larger parts of your barcoded border passes, but do please ask you have these ready for collection. It's a very busy train today, folks, given the time of year. Not much wiggle room in terms of seating, and we do have another 70 people joining the train during the course of our journey today. So we will accommodate seat requests where possible, but as I mentioned, a very busy train, so there's very limited wiggle room available to us, unfortunately. A couple of seats that do appear empty at the moment. We're collecting guests at Rangiora and Kaikoura, as well as a number of guests joining the service at Blenheim. So we'd appreciate if you left that not touched. Thank you. So in the same location as you'll find your safety information card, you'll also find a complimentary onboard magazine. You're welcome to take this with you upon completion of your journey. There's also a complimentary headset. This is for use with our pre-recorded commentary. Plug into the jack points between your seats. You can toggle between channels 0, 1 and 2 for English and Chinese language options. You'll get a 1 minute or approximately a 1 kilometre warning. There'll be a yellow bar on the overhead screen above your head. And the colour of this bar changes to green. Your commentary should be active. If you do have any problems, please speak to a member of your crew. Toilet facilities located at the rear right hand side of each carriage. Front left hand side of the cafe car and the B car is an accessible toilet. A bit more room and an automatic toilet should you require this facility. Emergency stop buttons, fire extinguishers located at either end of each car. Crew assistance button in the centre of each carriage for emergency use only, thank you. To appreciate your cooperation, no luggage or personal belongings to be placed directly in front of or opposite any of our emergency buttons or equipment. As with any public transport service in New Zealand, we're a strictly non-smoking train. This includes the use of and charging of electronic cigarettes anywhere on the train, including our open air viewing cars and our lavatories. And for those of you over the age of 18, we do have a fully licensed bar. From 8 o'clock onwards, we're licensed. A selection of New Zealand beers and wines, also some pre-mixed international spirits. Just a reminder, please, only alcohol purchased on board the train can be consumed on board the train in conjunction with our liquor license. Thank you. Children must be accompanied by at all times when moving around the train, and footwear must be worn at all times when leaving your seat. Thanks. Please pay particular attention with kids. Joins between the carriages. Would like them to get to Picton with as many toes as they started with here at Christchurch. And last but not least, at the very rear of the train this morning, our open air viewing car. Wonderful day for it. We'll give you a shout as we approach the coastline. You can head out there with your cameras, but if you are heading out there, please make sure, once again, all kids are accompanied by adults, and you stay well within the confines of the safety railings. Thanks, folks, as well as your photography equipment. In the meantime, a very good morning to you. Thank you once again for travelling north with the Coastal Pacific. Hot cold drinks, also some meals, snack items, a lot of breakfast wraps, fruit salads, mueslis, and a selection of sandwiches as well. More than welcome to take this food back to your seat. Please let us know if you would like assistance carrying items back to your seat on the moving train. Alternatively, you're more than welcome to join us in our cafe and bar dining area. This area is strictly for the purposes of dining. Thanks, folks. Very busy train, as I mentioned, so please don't be offended if we ask you to head back to your seats after about 20-25 minutes, thanks. With the exception of guests travelling with us here for accessibility reasons.
Alright. No, no, no. Okay. Very good.
Tempted to head into the station building or down to the beach? I don't want you to be spending the day here if you're originally planning on going to Blenheim or Picton. So please report promptly once you hear a blast whistle. The station Kaikoura, platform right outside. This place, many feet dead, however, the express having rebuilt them. Highways and railways. Numbers of old to. 2, 3. 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, platform will be on our left-hand side in the direction of travel. And guests leaving us here once again, thank you very much for travelling with us this morning. Hope you've enjoyed your trip, and we wish you all the best for 2021. Your luggage will be available from the front of the train. Staff will be there to assist you with it. Just a reminder, please, only guests alighting the train to step onto the platform here at Blenheim will be departing without notice from this station. Just a reminder to our guests, a couple of you in the very rear car, in the D car next to the observation deck. If your car is off the platform, the doors weren't open there, you'll have to walk one car forward to the seat carriage. Rachel will be there to assist you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for travelling with us. Look forward to seeing you in our services. Just doing our last orders at the cafe and bar, folks. Last orders for the cafe and bar service, and we'll be asking guests in the cafe and bar to return to the allocated seats. Thanks. Cross over the road in front of the station building and take a left. There's a painted line on the pavement to guide you to the front doors of the terminal building. The platform will be on our right hand side in the direction of travel. When the train comes to a stop, there will be a short delay as we uncouple the locomotives. This is a safety procedure. The train will then be released for opening. 2 steps down to the platform, please take care when alighting. Your luggage will be available from staff at the front of the train. We do ask please you give them room to work to keep themselves and yourself safe. Guests returning with us this afternoon will be closing the doors at 1:35 for a 1:40 p.m. departure. If you don't already have your return tickets, if you'd like to check in with the friendly staff in the station building, they'll be more than happy to assist you. Please bear in mind that your return tickets may differ. Your seats may differ from your seats you're in currently. So please double check this on the bottom right hand side of your ticket stubs. And please take all personal belongings with you from the train. The train is cleaned by third-party contractors, and any items left on board treated as lost property. On behalf of the whole team today, ladies and gents, myself, Dave, Tina, Carolyn, Rachel, Sam, Vanessa, Matt, and Savannah, down at the front of the train in CHRONICLES, I would like to thank you very much for travelling north with us this morning. Hope you've enjoyed your trip and taken something of interest from it. We very much hope you take a trip with us again in the future. On either this, our Transalpine service, Northern Explorer between Auckland and Wellington, and of course our Inter-Islander ferries. Been a funny old year, 2020. Many people looking forward to 21, whatever you're doing over the New Year period. Hope you have a safe, happy and relaxing time with your families. Thanks once again for travelling with Kira and the great journeys of New Zealand.
Nelson via the township of Blenheim. My name's David and I'm quite happy to help you out in travel once we get through to our destinations. We're just heading through to the township of Blenheim, a couple to drop off, some to pick up. It takes about 25 minutes to get there. Once we leave the township of Blenheim, I'll give you a rundown on what's happening for the rest of the afternoon. Sit back, relax, enjoy the journey as we head that way. We'll keep you updated as we go. Welcome to the township of Blenheim. Very shortly we'll be pulling up outside the railway station. Those passengers leaving us here, thanks for travelling. One's going through towards Nelson, just remain seated. Once we've loaded a couple of people here, we're on our way. Shortly and follow it up the valley. Measuring 25 feet in length. It's long enough to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. Half of it's in the oven cooking, the other half was out in the middle of the room. Just brought out through the shop windows, turned around the main street, and smoked it back in the oven. At the time, the French rugby team was touring New Zealand. They had a game of rugby in Blenheim on the Saturday. Came up to Rye Valley for morning tea on the Sunday morning. Just up round the corner here is a wee road that goes out to the right, and this is the road that goes to the French Pass. very picturesque little place. There's a number of bays and inlets and that sort of thing out that way. There's a lot of people that got holiday homes and benches and things scattered all the way out there as well. Shortly we're flying our first hill for the afternoon, which is the Rice Saddle. We get over the top, down a couple of valleys, and our second hill, the Wakamoa, and on into Nelson. Of the city, around through Akaroa. This part of the Nelson Haven on the right hand side. Doesn't look exciting at this point in time. The tide out, but when the tide's in, it's quite pleasant. It's no more than 2.5 to 3 metres deep here, and it attracts a lot of people. Small pleasure craft, windsurfers, kite sailors, optimists, things like that. Unless you go out past the Port of Nelson, you can't get into too much difficulties. So we just wander on into the city. Take us probably about 5 minutes at this rate to get in, and we're pulling up on our depot in Bridge Street shortly. I'm half in the city myself. Thanks for travelling with us today. I hope you enjoyed your journey through to here, or welcome back, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Just make sure you look around where you're sitting and you take all your personal items, and your luggage will be available on the outside. Once we've unloaded all the luggage, I'm then quite happy to help you out and point you in the right direction or answer any questions that you may have. We'll get the luggage off. The street in front of you is Bridge Street, if it's any help to you looking for your bearings.
Oh wow. taking the tracks. It's because of the flies. Oh. Yeah. When she's shaking the body, then the flies like to us. Yeah.
Years, the skyborne packing case lasted the laws of gravity and aerodynamics to deliver freight all over New Zealand. Those doors could swallow everything from cars to livestock and lock them in.
You may have to wait a while, but I'll have a look around anyway. Okay, fine.
Over the years, Safe Air's pilots made hundreds of thousands of accident-free flights into Bristol, but there's something about those brick outhouse looks that might make a chap wonder if it'd really get off the ground. Anyway, when you're planning to wrestle nearly 20 tons of plane and cargo into the air, you like to be doubly sure. To lift one brute, it took two others, each growling and grumbling with 2,000 bad-tempered horsepower. They were not nice to be near. A 2,000 horsepower engine can take some starting, but you've got to forgive an old lady for being grumpy sometimes. With this sort of machinery bolted to the wing just meters from your head, a standard communications headset would be useless. You wouldn't even be able to hear yourself think. The pilots wore specially converted earmuffs instead. The cockpit definitely predated the electronic age. The Bristols were built in the 1940s and 50s, but based on earlier Bristol aircraft designed right back in the 1920s. No liquid crystal displays or onboard computers here. Main interior design colour, black. To the purist, there was no sound quite like the crackling impatience of a Bristol freighter waddling its way to the runway, or the deep-throated roar as it charged like some medieval battering ram. But not everyone loves the Bristol. Just ask the residents near the airports they used. In 1955, someone was so enraged by the noise that they fired a gun at one. The bullet passed right through the passenger compartment and out the other side. No one was hurt, the planes flew on, and the perpetrator continued to suffer, but not in silence.
Continue approach number 3, follow the Bristol. Once you get onto Bristol, it becomes a sort of a love affair. They're such a docile aircraft. Nowadays they've got automatic pilots and them, and they're a bit heavier on the controls than they were before when we had them.
Occasionally, the airstrip would become waterlogged after heavy rain, and flights would have to be cancelled. Anyway, there was nobody much around to complain about the noise here. Perhaps it was the psychological impact of the fact that the Bristol had to cover a lot of water to get there. But whatever the reason, the Chatham's flights led to a necessary modification.
That's our plane.
Is it?
Well, today's one anyways, but we'll be on that tomorrow.